actually looking the person in the eye, shaking their hand, you know, trying to relate with them, sharing a little bit about yourself. Believe me, doors open, right? Big part of my job is to relate with everybody. From the student that walks in the door, we have, I think, close to 400 employees that I have to, you know, work with on a day. I've got board members, I've got people that give us donations, I've got elected officials. There's a whole world of people out there that require that I relate with them in that kind of way. And the only way to do it effectively is to do it genuinely, absolutely genuinely. So, you know, thank you for asking that question. This is going to be one of the biggest things that you're gonna really want to build a skill in, right? As you progress. Okay. I want to tell you a story about passion in medicine. Just this evening, my goddaughter, who's at my school, I run a school in health sciences, right? That's trying to prepare young people to get into health careers. She just arrived last night from a trip to Honduras as part of Medical Weeks. Every 2 or 3 months now, we are sending groups of high school students on medical missions with doctors and nurses to different parts of Latin America to help care for people, right? And so having a passion like medicine, right, gives you a skill, right? You know, I mean, in the future. And then it gives you an opportunity to share that in so many different ways. And so I love that because, see, that's the center point. Find your passion. Figure out what do you want to do with medicine. You want to be an internist, right? Have you thought about, as you become an internist, doing some medical missions? What? You have. Okay. So you see here, find your passion, build a craft, do it well, share it with others. You know, have that be a beacon of hope, right? That's great. Another passion. Another passion. You gotta have some passions here. What's your passion? Public speaking. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay? So, what's your plan for college? Okay, motivational speakers are amazing. Okay, absolutely amazing. Transform people's lives when done very well. And it's an art. So you must be an artist. Because speakers are artists. Okay? They really are. It's not a science, it's an art. So motivational speakers make a big difference in people's lives. Anyone else? Just throw some hands. Passion. Law. Oh, what do you want to do with law? But what do you want to do as a lawyer? Criminal defense. And who do you want to defend? And why? She believes, criminals, because she believes they deserve a second chance, that they can change. Okay? That's great. Civil rights. Why? So civil rights is her passion because she feels like time has gone by and things tend to still be the same. How many of you guys would agree with that? That we still got a lot of change to do in the world. No, seriously, I need to lose this paper. All right, I'm going to ask you two questions. I want to make sure you guys participate. You know, how many feel like there's a lot of change you still want to see done in the world? Raise your hand if there's a lot of change you still want to see done in the world. Okay, now, raise your hand. This is okay too. Raise your hand if you don't want anything to change in the world. Okay, and that's okay. Okay? And that's okay. So So what I want to share with you today, right, is to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to be that agent of change. I told you I care about racial equality. I told you I care about immigrant rights. I've been deep in the immigrant rights movement. Deep, 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 deep. I was the president of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights for 10 years. For 10 years I volunteered, close to 25 hours a week, 10 years, trying to push for a change in our immigration laws. Day in and day out, didn't matter. You know, son was born, my son was born, and, you know, with the carriage, you know, as we were organizing marches to stem the tide back in 2006 and 2007. Deep, deep in it. So much so that I actually got a chance to speak at Los Pinos. Anybody know where Los Pinos is? No? This is the Mexican White House. The Mexican White House. Los Pinos is the Mexican White House. And it was a president called Vicente Fox. And back in 2006, Vicente Fox actually invited me to the Pinos, and I spoke to the Mexican Congress and about 150 leaders from the United States of America, representing the immigrant rights movement in the United States. All right? And why do I share that? Because in 1996, you know, when I got out of college, I went on a march. And I wasn't involved at all. I just went on a march because I cared about the issue. And I was marching. And I made a commitment that day that I was going to work on that issue. I was going to change that. You guys raise your hand, you want to see something change? Right? We're talking about volunteerism and voting, and we're talking about making the world better. So I'm marching in 1996, making a commitment. Right? And guess what? Every day I worked at it. Every day I worked to make good on that commitment. Every day I made a further commitment. Every day I took on more and more leadership. And I found myself later on in 2002 as the president of the Illinois Coalition. And then I found myself in 2006 giving a speech to Los Pinos. And then I, you know, found myself emceeing a big rally in D.C., right? From 1996, where I was just marching along, but made a commitment. So I want you to know that the biggest things that require the biggest change take time. And they take consistent dedication and hard work. Okay? Anyone here that expects that because we want to change something, it's going to change very fast, most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it requires consistent, dedicated effort over long periods of time with many other people involved, sharing leadership so that you can actually get to the finish line and make your society better. So no, I didn't know in 1996 that we'd be standing here in 2014 and there still would be no immigration reform. No, I didn't know that, right? But I want you to know that, right? I want you to know so that you're prepared for the journey of making change properly, okay? Prepare for it like you prepare for class. You know, put the hard work in, stay steady, work at it, you know, you'll get there. You know, you'll get there because when people are committed and dedicated, when I watch these folks do medical missions, right, I'm convinced, they're convinced they're going to bring healing to the entire world. And what these doctors do is they take the weekend off. They work hard. And then they take the weekend off. They leave on Thursday. And then they come back on Monday. They go right back into the rotation. But they're out healing for it. You know, and they're on these missions day and night, day and night. And there's a group engineer. Anybody want to be an engineer? There's a group called Engineers Without Borders. And Engineers Without Borders does this amazing work all across the world, you know, to bring, you know, real value-added stuff into local communities, right? So no matter what your interests are, no matter what your passions are, right? Build a craft, be successful at it, get yourself to college, get yourself done with college, and then take that craft and make something really special of it. It takes God's gifts, you know, and put them to use